What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into episode 108 of The Scope, your source, maybe, for FPS news and just general talk and discussion. Just bros being dudes, talking about FPS games, news, reacting, everything that's going on. And yeah, I'm one of your co-hosts, Crash. I play video games sometimes, talk about them. And I'm joined by my two other co-hosts, Buff and Blue. What's up, man?
Howdy.
What
How's
is
it going?
up?
It's the best part of Monday. Let's just say that. This is the best part of a Monday. For me at least. Like, you guys might hate it, but it's fine.
I love it. I love it. We got a juicy episode today too.
Man, guys, Redbeard, shout out for the 10-month membership. Thanks, homie. Dude, we have a lot of news to talk about. Last week we were kind of, not gonna lie to you, if you listened to the episode, shout out, appreciate you. We were talking out of our ass a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine.
It's a trade secret.
It's fine. It's fine. It's one of our gifts. It's a gift, really. But this week there's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff about what's on X. There's quite a bit of stuff in the quick shots. Tarkov's doing stuff. Helldivers dropped. It's doing really well from what I can understand. And man, there's a lot to go over. But first, how was your guys' weekend? What are you playing? Buff, you good? You all right? What's going on?
What was I playing? Nothing. I didn't play anything.
Whoa.
So yeah.
No games? Good. Did you do real life stuff?
I did real life stuff. Yeah. A lot of working out. Stuff like outdoor activities.
Nice.
Stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. You know, hitting the gym, working on the guns, things like that.
Nice.
Drinking my jug of urine here, you know.
Oh,
sterile,
nice. I got one of those, but it's different. I use it for trucking. When I'm trucking.
Yeah,
trucking and gaming.
See, I just fill this up during the day when I work, and then fluids out.
It's a cycle.
It's a
cycle. Yeah.
Man,
exactly.
I wonder if I could sell my. I wonder if I could sell my truck and piss jugs.
There you go. Yeah,
if people can sell bath water, you could sell that.
Yeah, I think people want to drink it.
I did tell people.
Jugs.
Everybody wants me to stream my truck simulator, with bare feet and a foot cam.
That's a little weird.
So I know, that's why I'm talking about it, because it's hilarious. So I said we get to 500 subs on Twitch. I'll do barefoot truck stream and I'll wear toe rings. I added the toe rings part. I thought that would be pretty good.
Toe rings.
I'm kidding.
Shave.
First off, that's unobtainable. Second off, I'm lying. I would not do that.
And
that's terrible.
And if we tip during the said stream, will you spray oil on your feet by chance, or?
I mean, whatever. There's no way I'm getting 500 paid subs on Twitch, so I don't have to worry about it. Whatever, sure, yeah.
Sure.
Someone's gonna one day, years back, be like, all of a sudden, you said it. You said it.
No.
Verbal contracts here from now on, boys.
This clip's about to just get shared out to a foot fetish community, like a Reddit sub, and you're just gonna blow up overnight.
Everyone, clip that right now and share it, so
it's
we
not
can
like
get
that.
a foot stream.
It's not like that. You guys are awful. Blue, what have you been up to, man? Actually, I started that whole terrible discussion. That's on me.
Yeah. Don't blame us.
I've been doing some just real life stuff as well too, hanging out with family. I guess I can mention it now because everything's all set in stone now. Last week, guys, and I was gonna put it in the video as well too. Got a 2-car accident. All right, everyone's good, everyone's fine, but I lost my brand new Toyota 4Runner. So that was literally 2 days off the lot, lost that. But insurance covered it. We're good. I'm getting a new one. And it's a gray Toyota 4Runner. It's the XP Predator model, all kinds of cool stuff on it. TRD and stuff like that. So that's good. I've been doing that, but I've been just dealing with insurance for a week and a half because weekends and then holidays. So I've been doing a lot of that. But other than that, then another game came out called Helldivers 2, and I've been hooked on that pretty much. So I've been playing a lot of that. I haven't really done anything on the YouTube side, but you know what? I still do soccer streams. So
I tuned
So
in a
yeah,
little
no,
bit.
I didn't.
I tuned in. I was shadow stalk watching you earlier while I was working. I just like throw it up while I work. I'm just you use those guns.
But yeah, no. Other than that, and then I went to the range as well too. Saw some pew pews and
Firearms?
then I went to some firearms, and then
I love
I
firearms.
even went to a ribbon cutting ceremony for that.
Oh yeah.
So I mentioned it before. It was
Yeah.
for Decision Tactical in Sanford, Florida, and it's like, again, it's think of like Top Golf, you know, like you go there and it's like they got the food, the drinks, the bar, but with a tactical training environment with like laser airsoft guns, training rooms, a full street that looks like inside. They took like an old movie theater and like converted like rooms in there, and then the front lobby is like the restaurant and the bar, and it was really cool. So I saw the ribbon cutting ceremony, went there and checked that out, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Man, that's sweet. I wish there was a place like that close by. I'm just gonna have to make my own in the pasture, my own little training sim. I'll be out there LARPing all by myself. You guys will just see me running
I'll
around.
join you. Yeah.
It's wild out there. For me this weekend, yeah, I kind of hung out around the house. I did a decent amount of American Truck Simulator.
I saw that
I
you
did,
were always
like-
on Twitch.
Dude, I
out
did like 4 ATS streams this weekend, dude. I got a new steering wheel
Jeez.
that I should not have
Yes.
purchased. I should not have done
Hooked
it. So we got some of the tax return back, and I might have just scalped a little bit off the top of that and got me a new wheel.
Nice.
I got the Logitech G920, and it has the force feedback. So like you can feel like when you're idling, you can feel the engine in the steering
It
wheel.
actually rumbles
When you
and
like hit a
stuff,
curb
and-
or railroad
Nice.
tracks or something, or even the rumble strips. Like you can feel the rumble strips on the highway, and like it's even like so dialed in that like if the truck is off and like you try to turn the wheel, it's really hard. But then you turn the truck on, and in just a second, like the power steering pump kicks in, and then it gets easier to turn, like when the truck turns on.
Yeah, it's
That's so cool.
crazy.
All that
That's
from
I
a
wonder
wheel.
what that
so,
feels like. I wonder what that feels like for like racing games.
I bet it's really cool. So that's
But
happening.
the G920,
Yeah, G920.
I'll look into that.
It's really cool. It's really expensive, but it's kind of it shouldn't be as much as it is. It's not that much better than the cheaper one I had, but like it's definitely
That force
better.
feedback.
It's definitely better.
Yeah.
And it's a lot smoother on curves and stuff like that. So I was having a ton of fun with that. The streams were fun.
I wonder how's the latency? Is it just like near perfect?
Yeah, I
pretty
can't
much
feel
no.
any.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
if you watch the stream, you can see it like it's exactly with the wheel. Like I have my wheel cam, and like the wheel is like matched up like perfect,
Alright.
dude. So
That's
good, man.
Super cool.
So much fun. It's so silly that I enjoy it, but I do. There's no cheaters. I don't know. It's the best game to stream, dude. We can just talk to chat, have drinks, the conversations go crazy places, and I don't know. It's just good stuff. It's very interactive.
We gotta worry
game to
about the
stream.
cheaters.
No cheaters. You got to worry about Blackout running people off the road into you, though. We did a convoy with Blackout and Redbeard, and there were some shenanigans on the highway. Let's just say that
Oh Lord.
there were some shenanigans, man. But no, it was a ton of fun.
Oh, jeez.
I guess we better get into what we got today because there's quite a bit of FPS
Yeah, a
news
lot.
over the week. Before we get, I'll do like a tiny bit of housekeeping real quick. First off, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for chatting. Chat is on the screen so you guys can be part of the show. So as you're talking on YouTube, people go watch us back. They see what you guys are saying. We really appreciate it and keep a close eye on chat. So thank you for that. Also, podcast listeners, there's more and more of you every week. And for that, we are incredibly appreciative. If you guys want to help us out, take a quick second and leave us a review, preferably a nice one, on Spotify or Apple iTunes. Allegedly, that helps the reach on those platforms as well. So if you feel like helping us out, be a friend, tell a friend, drop a like, drop a comment, and drop a review on the audio version. And we are forever grateful for that. So thank you guys so much. And the first topic of the day, this one could get divisive, a little bit of speculation out there. but apparently Tarkov is starting microtransactions. And it's kind of framed like that. I want to get your guys' opinion on it if you think it's true microtransactions. So let's just get it right out of the way. What they're doing is they are actually selling stash slots. So kind of in a nutshell, what happened, if you bought the different editions, the higher editions of Tarkov, you get a little bit more starting loot. You also get a bigger stash. Then they took away the EOD edition when Arena dropped. Now they're kind of adding that back in. They're adding in the ability to buy stash. They're also adding the ability to buy the offline co-op mode. So you could do that. Basically, what was in the EOD is now purchasable a la carte. So it's kind of weird. What do you guys think?
I mean, you go first, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus! Okay, go.
I'm taking the wheel. So from like it depends on how they use it. You know, are they going to? Is this money going to be help them develop the game faster? Like, is that money going towards further development? Kind of like we would see. You know, we talked about here on the channel a lot, like DLC, the DLCs, the premium versions of games, things like that. That's kind of what they had going with the EOD, but maybe EOD sales weren't what they thought. Maybe that, we don't know the numbers behind all that. So maybe that's not, maybe it was just a hardcore fan base for doing that. Now maybe giving the standard purchasers, the guys who purchased the standard version of the game, giving them the option to do this as like you said, just purchase outright these stash slots and things like that. And maybe that's more intriguing to the average player potentially, but also, I don't know the price points. And again, is it going to be used to, put that back into the game? If they're making more money, more dev power, faster turnaround time with development deliveries, things like that. So I'll have to wait and see. I think we're not going to see it go in a crazy direction like Call of Duty, obviously. I think microtransactions are definitely beneficial to games. Just depends on, there's money to be made. So it depends on how they use it. I think we need to kind of stand by and watch and see how they do.
Yeah. What do you think, Blue?
Yeah, I think it's also maybe just a little bit too early to really tell where this is going to go in the future. I mean, I do feel for the Edge of Darkness purchasers. That was kind of the main reason why you bought it, was for a bigger stash. Sorry about that, Buff. You too, Crash. Oh, rip.
Got me.
Man, I'm glad I got the early, the only version.
I bet the price works out about the
starter
same,
one. I would. That's what I'm wondering too. And then also, the stash purchases, does it just only go up to EOD size?
Good question.
Or can you go more?
In One Peg's tweet, he said apparently the stash size increase is up to 28 additional rows. That's an entire normal account, so 280 slots. Tarkov, and then he goes on to add his 2 cents worth. He says Tarkov was always going to have long-term monetization issues. We knew that, but the thought was that they'd gain money through expansions, not through microtransactions. So saying that it's kind of wild, but they tweeted in the patch notes for the patch 14.1 that the in-game stash expansion would access to the practice co-op mode would become available for purchase in the profile page. Purchase of additional stash lines will be available regardless of game edition. Purchasing access to the practice co-op modes will be available for all editions. For Edge of Darkness owners, the ability to play in practice co-op mode is available by default. So if you have EOD, you can already do the practice co-op mode. Also, it sounds like you can even add 280 slots to your already larger EOD stash. So it's like
EOD.
It kind of feels like EOD
insane.
still has the edge with that, but it's
crazy.
like, how big of an edge is that? Do you consider this pay to win? Like, there's a lot to it. I don't necessarily think it's pay to win. I think it's almost pay for convenience.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
I will say there is a huge difference from, again, because I have this, the starter edition pretty much. So seeing how much room, I have to work with, and I'm usually out there buying, scav boxes and giant duffel bags and stuff like that, just to give myself extra space, where Edge of Darkness always had that extra space, but now I have the opportunity to, if I wanted to, if I still really did play Tarkov, to get more stash space. So again, it's not for me, it's not super upsetting, I feel like, again, but I didn't spend the Edge of Darkness money, but I'm still very curious, how far does this go? Because again, that is going to be an issue with the longevity of this game, is the financial backing of this. They're no longer, doing pre-orders for the Edge of Darkness anymore. So where's the money going to come from? Does it need to come in expansions as well too? I don't know. It's tough with games nowadays that have, and again, it's because this game has been in development for such a long time. Like, I don't see it, they're acting like they're still in early access when in reality this isn't really an early access game, I feel like, anymore.
It doesn't feel like it when you play it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's up.
Yeah.
I think all of that is spot on, because we
It's
don't
kinda
know
tone
where
deaf
this is
too.
gonna. Yeah, we don't know where this is going to end up. And then, like you said, to frame their potential monetization issues, so far there's been no cosmetics. There's been nothing really purchasable once you have the game. You could upgrade your edition historically, which you can't really do now, to EOD. But they're adding this in. It feels similar. It feels the same but different. It feels like kind of the same stuff, but in a different way to purchase it. I think what a lot of people, from what I've seen, the detractors of this over on Twitter are worried about is the precedent that it sets, right? Like how they're probably going to start to set up a store on the profile, and then to see what BSG does with this. What are they going to do with the money? Is it going to go to anti-cheat and optimization for maps, like Old Sport mentioned,
exactly,
like Streets and Lighthouse, the traditionally poor running maps? Or is it just, going into the devs and Battlestate Games' pocket? So we don't know. And they had to do something, because they have to keep the game running, keep servers running. The player base is going to be finite. Eventually, everybody wants to play the game and have the game, kind of, more or less. And they got to make money somehow. A lot of people thought it would be maps. What the hell? Maps, expanding and paying for those. But it appears they're dabbling in microtransactions in a roundabout way.
What would you say if they started bringing in, like, because you can eventually level up and earn different cosmetics for your operator? Like, I wonder what people would say, because that could be a thing that they bring in different cosmetics. I'm thinking something that doesn't affect the balance, unless again they put in a ghillie suit and then all of a sudden it becomes pay to win. But
yeah, I think like the jeans and the flannels, things like that. Jeans, flannels, like maybe some different guns here and there,
sunglasses or something like that.
Yeah,
but
stuff like that would be good.
Again, I feel like it's tone deaf because they have so many other issues to worry about, that people might think that they just are out there for the money. But then Crash brought up a good point, to where they still need to support the servers. Where is the money going to go afterwards? I really does hope it goes somewhere towards some anti-cheat, because hackers and cheaters are still some of the biggest. This is the biggest issue I've seen in any other game of this caliber. Yeah,
because it has to do with the loot. So, in my opinion, if you're like Crash, like, where would this? Because right now I feel like, I guess I'm somewhat disagreeing with chat. I kind of feel like this really isn't a big paradigm shift for BSG. I think they're just kind of repackaging the content differently. Instead of buying it all together in addition, you can buy it a la carte.
Yeah.
But I do understand the precedent that it sets, and I feel like a next step, you guys can clip this and hold the receipts. I worry that the next step would be something like unlocking traders, like some of that progression. Like Battlefield used to have the unlock kits, right? And like usually like the year 2 edition of the game, where you could fast track like leveling up the sniper class or the recon class or medic or whatever.
Yeah.
They used to have those. I wonder if there's going to be a way to pay to level up traders and get access to guns and stuff quicker without having to play. Because I mean, me already right now, I'm like level 12 or something. I've just been doing like a raid or 2 a week. So it would, if I didn't know any better or think about it, if I didn't stay plugged in and kind of realize how destructive microtransactions could be, and I was just in my Tarkov headspace and that's all I cared about, I could think about like, man, I'm tired. I can't keep up with these guys. If I could just level up this trader and this trader, I could buy the gun that I want to and just run that. It would
And
be
it'll
so
be like
nice.
a small amount, so it'd be like, oh, it's not that much, $20 here,
10, 20
15 bucks
bucks.
there, you know.
And that could get
Okay, cool, and then
that
it
could
adds
get
up. Yeah.
that could get really lucrative for them because of every wipe, right? You wipe your progression. So
Yep.
you would there could
Yeah.
be people paying 10, 20, 50 bucks every wipe to pop the traders up to where they wanted them to. Or
And
get
this is going to
early
be a test
access
to
to
see
the
how many
flea
people
market.
get the stash too. Yeah, it's going to be a test to see who's interested in actually spending even more money.
So that's what you got to watch out for. This in and of itself doesn't scare me. It's what the future could bring. And it's not that many steps to get to like pay to win and really frustrate.
Dude, we used to say the same thing when they first started bringing in microtransactions to games in general. You know, it wasn't such a big deal back then, but now look at how much of an issue it is for certain games, and how now games have just focused mainly on microtransactions instead of the actual content of the game. Now, I'm not saying PSG will end up being like this, but I wouldn't pass it by them that BSG could eventually start seeing dollar signs in their eyes and be like, wait a minute, we can do a lot more with this and earn a lot more money because our paychecks look a lot better now.
Yep. And like Old Sport says, buy Kappa, buy like the bigger containers, because they're already letting you buy a bigger stash. So letting you buy a bigger secure container is not that big of a
or
step.
buy, Red Rebel, the pick and stuff like that, or start buying little things here and there.
Yeah, because you've already seen in Tarkov that based on the changes they've had to make to the game with the real money transaction cheaters, the RMT cheaters that would go around, vacuum all the loot, then literally sell those items on eBay. So you could go buy a Red Rebel or GPUs on eBay. The cheater would take you in, give you the items, and you would extract. So you can see that there's a market for people to use tangible money to buy things in this game. And BSG might decide to capitalize on it. And instead of RMTs, have MTXs that do essentially the same thing, to where people buy stuff that they want. So something to keep an eye on. This is so far it's okay in my opinion, but it's not too many steps until it's not okay. And the steps seem pretty logical. Like they could just do that and they would probably make a lot of money.
Yep.
And the ultimate fault falls down on the player base for paying money for that. Stop it. But you'll never stop it. Because I just don't feel like a lot of people understand or even think about it in that way. It that aren't on Twitter, that aren't plugged in, that don't follow people and understand it.
I think Tarkov's like it's a niche. It's a niche game too. You really need. We'll have to wait and see. I like you said, if you're paying for traders and stuff like that. Like, there's no way players would pay a price every wipe. Like, it'd have to be a guaranteed you get the traders unlocked immediately every wipe or something like that. But we're definitely reaching like worst case scenario. It feels like
it's close. Woo, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Excited about Delta Force. We'll get to it. We will get to it, man.
Me too, brother.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers that. The next thing that we were gonna hit, a little bit of Helldivers 2. How have you been finding it, Blue?
Oh, dude, absolutely one of the best games of this year. I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's one of the fact that it was not. Look, they've been having a lot of connection issues lately, and that was originally so. Or I guess for people that don't know what this game is, which is kind of, I mean, first of all, the Steam charts on this was insane. I mean, I think we're looking at over 400,000 players. If I just double check right here. I mean, the fact that I hit this within a day of release, but it was sitting at mixed reviews on day one because there was a lot of people having connectivity issues, partying up, trying to, especially solo players were trying to, connect to other players, and it just wasn't working. It would crash a lot. So, oh, sorry, not 400,000, 100,000. It was 140,000. Now it's 155,000. So I actually just hit another peak. Yeah. Right. So, but this is just on PC. This game is also out for PlayStation as well too. Sadly not Xbox, but it is a Sony game. So, very interesting to see where this game goes. I mean, it was, because I want to talk about that in the video as well too, that it's very telling of what players want. And it's crazy how the shift, it feels like it's slowly moving from massive multiplayer, games, Call of Duty, Battlefield. There's still a big, group for that, but there's a lot of people that are looking for co-op games, good co-op games, that they could just hop on with their friends, get into a mission, and shoot to their heart's content. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see where this goes from here. Plus, there's already a ton of content, and they actually did microtransactions very right in this, where you can earn the credits properly in game at a decent rate without having to go and purchase. They're called super credits in game. So you can either buy super credits with real money, which this game is sitting at $39.99 right now, or you could just earn them in game by just completing missions, going around, checking little loot spots. So I've gotten everything from 2 refreshes of the superstore, is what it's called, by just in-game currency. So 8 different items. So it is a third-person game, but there is even a first-person mode. When you ADS, you can click the middle mouse button. I don't know what it is on PlayStation, and it goes to a first-person mode. And it's really interesting because even the reload animation is also in first person. So I really wish they would just maybe add that, just to, if you want to play third person to look at your character, cool. But if you want that immersive feeling, because you could actually turn off pretty much everything on the HUD as well too. So you could just have nothing on the HUD, running around shooting bugs or automatons, which are these Terminator looking things. It's like they took a bunch of franchises together, like Starship Troopers, Star Wars, Terminator. The one of the planets looks like from Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon type stuff, with red lasers flying over you, and then it's it's like space Vietnam. So the set designs look great. The enemy types are really good. There are just a couple of issues where it's some of the harder difficulties, they kind of overwhelm you a little bit with spawning the same enemy type over and over again, which they are patching and they're updating pretty regularly. It's like a 2-hour patch window, and then boom, it's already there. So they're pretty quick about patch updates. They're pretty quick about talking to the community in the Discord, on the Twitter. And I mean, they're kind of just doing it right. I mean, is this, with Sony backing them up, and I'm trying to remember the actual developer for this game. I believe it starts with an A. I'm a great reporter. I know what
Good
I'm
journalism.
talking about. Good journal. Arrowhead Game Studios.
That's what we do here.
Perfect. It feels like, again, it doesn't feel like AAA, but it doesn't feel indie. It's like a good middle ground where it's, they're able to do a lot with a good amount of, people, I guess. So yeah, it's taken the gaming world by storm. A lot of, for me, for instance, I got it gifted to me, didn't know anything about Helldivers. I when I looked up Helldivers, I thought it was a top down game before, and now it's third person. So I was like, whatever, I'll play it, I'll check it out. And I've just been hooked. 19 hours in 3 days or something like that.
Awesome. So that's my first question. So how does it feel content wise and replayability wise? Is it something that you think you're only going to be about 100 hours into and then you're probably over it, which is fine? I'm sure
there's someone out there that probably feels like that just completely just did every single mission over and over again. But the cool thing is there's a lot of content, I still think, because each difficulty has different missions. So when you start off as super easy, which is trivial, move on your way to easy, then move on your way to medium, then there's challenging, then there's hard. I think there's 7 or 8 difficulty settings. One of the last one's just called Helldiver, just straight up dead on arrival type stuff. But it's there's different mission types, every single one. So I've already put almost 20 hours in, and I'm still figuring out different missions. Yeah, so there's 9 different difficulty settings, and each one of those difficulty settings have different missions. On top of that, the game is it's self-aware, so it knows it's this authoritarian democracy that's super patriotic. You know, it's the whole
Yeah, that's
point.
what it
You're
looks
spreading democracy through the galaxy and stuff like that.
With freedom
And
seeds.
it's yeah, freedom seeds pretty much. You know, you got Eagle Strikes, which are just like space A10s, and it's really cool. But the cosmetics in that too, like that's what they want you to look cool while spreading democracy. So it's all about the cosmetics, which are also earnable in game through like their what is it? It's really cool. They have like their battle pass, which is called Warbond progression, pretty
Bourbon?
much. No, not no.
Bourbon?
You know what? I'm pretty sure there might be. I would be excited if there was like a Helldiver brand bourbon, because that's like a very American, you know. I mean, the planet that the Earth is called, it's called Super Earth, pretty much. It's like basically, it's like if America just conquered the entire Earth. It's kind of funny, and it just gave like, you know, the military budget to NASA. And then what was it? Oh my god, I was on tangent there. It's this game is just so cool, man. Like I can't stop playing it. Oh yeah, the cosmetics, like you earn the medals in game as well too. So everything you earn is through just playing the game. Now, I will say you do need some friends to play this. It is a lot better with a 4-man squad than going solo and trying to play with other players. There is push to talk, there is open mic, so you can communicate that way. You can communicate by, you know, pinging something or pinning something on the map. So there's different ways to communicate with randoms, but there's just a different, you know, vibe when you're just playing with your friends, and there's friendly fire on the entire time. You cannot turn it off. So every gun, every turret, every explosion is detrimental to your health, even alongside the enemy types as well too. And there's going to be eventually new planets that open up, new sectors. I heard someone told me, I don't know how true this is, but eventually, well, there's even another faction that's in the first Helldivers that isn't in this one, so they could bring that in, because the automaton faction is brand new. There might be vehicles coming in the future, maybe like drivable tanks and
So there is
Jeeps,
DLC
and
planned?
there's DLC planned for sure.
That's
so there's it's crazy. It's like, oh wow, you made a good game and people paid for it, and now it's got good reviews. It's like the same shit we've been saying the entire time. Make good game, people buy game. Like it's, you know,
go figure.
It's a great way to start off, I would say 2024 early on in the year. When it comes to a
kind of a
pretty
surprise to me.
title.
I wasn't familiar with the franchise. Like apparently there's
I wasn't familiar too, and you know, shout out to Rooks. I don't know if he's in chat, but he was the one that gifted it to me. So that was like,
That's
and he
cool.
gifted me the super edition, which is, again, it's a $40 game, you know, $30.99. So the super thing is like 60, but I mean, you got $60-$70 games out here that all they push is just microtransactions, cosmetics, and barely any content. You know, this has more content than Battlefield 2042 on launch.
They did space better than Starfield, it looks like.
Dude, this you know, I do hope they bring out the content pretty fast, but you know,
yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
There's several things about this for me. I've never been into co-op games, but I think I'm going to try it with this one. I put it on my wish list and I want to catch it on sale, which is one of the coolest things about co-op games is, number one, no cheaters. Number two, it's still relevant if you pick it up later, right?
That's another thing that people,
or are there people exploiting
as well too. Well, so no, actually, this has a kernel level anti-cheats. So
Why?
that's another I wish I had the right answer for that, but that's another review that gets a lot of negative hits, is because of the kernel level anti-cheat. Like, I believe if I launch it right now, it would say it's End Protect Game Guard. So it's one of those that, you know, it's rooted into your PC. It's very strange for a co-op game, but it is an always online game, and I guess maybe they just don't want people, you know, maybe cheating their way to some of the higher cosmetic tiers. Maybe they just want people to enjoy the game. There's no PvP at all. It's all strictly PvE. So a lot of the negative reviews though from it are because of the. I mean, I crashed once today. I haven't crashed in a long time, but most of the time, people are saying that it's the disconnects. It's crazy that it's such an invasive anti-cheat on a PvE game. Like hell, not Call of Duty doesn't even have this. So
interesting. I guess it's probably to keep people from like figuring out glitches and stuff and farming credits. I would think.
Yeah, unless they have more planned
maybe.
too.
And that's the thing. We don't know exactly. It feels kind of not early access, but just again, it's early on where there's more content coming in as well too. So
yeah,
maybe they're adding
it's super
PvP?
fun. It's super entertaining. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe. And again, even some of the reviews are like, "Hey, this game is fun. I love this game. It's some of the best shooting since Metal Gear Solid 5." Like, it's challenging, stuff like that, but they just can't get away from the game crashing. It's always being online. Some people aren't a fan of the upgrade monetization system because it does get pretty grindy. I mean, just for like, I'm sitting at like 50 medals for 19 hours of gameplay, and some of the cosmetics, it's like 100 medals, and that's just like one item. So it's like, it's a grind. It is a grind for sure. But the higher you go up, the more you get medals. So a lot of content creators are covering it too. I just saw like Tomographic put out a video. This thing is getting a lot of coverage.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch on it too. That's good. Like to see it.
That's pretty cool. But I mean, the thing about it is like, I can buy this game later on sale and still have fun with it.
Exactly. And on top of that, like, if you join me as a, if I'm already like level 20 or something like that, whatever, and you come in as level 1, we will still have such a great time. There's no, like, you'll see some cool stuff that I have unlocked, but you'll still have a good time at, like, we'll start at the, the lower level, the difficulties, work our way up, and
that's pretty cool.
It's better than I feel like what was it? A lot of people, everyone that I've played with so far, they say it feels like what Starship Troopers the game should have been.
Yeah.
Because now you have Starship Troopers real quick.
Yeah,
because now you have Starship Troopers out here reworking their entire class system from 6 to 3, and then they're gonna wipe everyone's experience because of that. So it's like that. I mean, that game is probably sitting at a 3-digit number right now, which sucks because I love Starship Troopers. I love the game when it first came out, but it's taken forever. And the fact that it launched with such little content, and this launch was, Helldivers launch was so much more. Like, yeah. So
common mistake. A lot of people, a lot of games make it.
It makes me excited more for future third-person games too. I wasn't like, I was kind of like, third person. I'm more first-person immersive, stuff like that. But heck, even third-person games can be pretty immersive. Like, I was getting pretty immersed with this game when I turned off all the HUD options. I was like, oh wow, this is actually, it looks really good.
Yeah, it does look cool. So I want to pick it up on sale and kind of lean into one of the cool things about co-op games. You don't have to buy it right away to keep up with people, like in PvP stuff where you unlock stuff and you start later. You're at such a disadvantage. In this one, it's super cool. Like, you can wait if you want to, and it's still relevant if you buy it later. So cool. I'm glad that's happening. I watched Fry play it and I watched you play it, and it looked great. It looked really good. All right, are you ready to venture onto X?
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
Dude, I'm calling out World War III, man.
Call them out. They fucking deserve it, dude.
So here's what happened. This morning, the World War III Twitter account posted this. They posted a Valentine's Day sale. Guys, guess what? All 300 concurrent peak players for World War III. It's February when solo operators have a rough time to sweeten. It's time to act according to principle. Make frags and love. We have prepared special items for you in the in-game store. Isn't that nice? So you have a game that just got purchased by another developer with a host of networking launcher issues, dying player base. years and years of untapped potential just sitting there, and nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows if the servers are going to be kept on for this game. After it's been purchased. They haven't said anything. They put out a what do I want to say? A survey to get people's opinion, which I'm sure was all the same. Like, tell us what's going to happen with the game. And they're pushing microtransactions. So what did I do? I posted on there. I guess I'll find it. I can find it here in my replies.
Opened your big mouth, right?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I made a kick ass for a kick mascot. I made a little standing slot machine. I thought that was pretty funny. Right here. Here's what I said. I said it would probably be more prudent to let players know if and how the game is going to be supported moving forward, rather than push microtransactions when many cannot find a full lobby.
Valid.
I mean, did I call anybody names? Did I say your game's trash? Did I call out their intelligence? Did I do anything like that? No. I just simply said, I think it would be nice of you to let people know if there's even going to be a game before you try to sell microtransactions that if you shut down the servers will be useless to people. I think that's just a decent, respectable business practice. They hid it. They hid that from the thing. I went back to see if other people were commenting on it. It was gone. One guy said, oh, so now you're hiding comments? So then that's how I knew they hit the comment, and my comment was gone. So then I quote tweeted, and I said, they are deleting comments from this post, so I guess I'll do it this way. I simply stated that it would be more prudent to ensure players that the game is going to be fixed and turned around and even supported before pushing microtransactions. So you're just, man, like, for a game that can't shoot itself in the foot any more than that, you're creating this shitty vibe around your game that you're going to push microtransactions, and it really feels like you're trying to squeeze the last little bit of money out of those 300 players before you shut it off. And tell me, and they won't even tell you that that's not the case when you call them out on it. Literally hiding comments. Now, I get hiding comments if they're like death threats or just, like vitriolic name calling, like just stupid troglodyte stuff. But when I'm actually saying, hey, could you please tell players, like, if this game is going to be around before you try to sell stuff with it, and they hide it, like, dude, that's shitty. That's shady. That sucks. Like, that's a really trash way to operate. And what little goodwill they have with me is pretty much gone after that deal. That's silly.
I was the same way when I was like, it's like I was like, let me go. It was a couple months ago. I think I went and streamed it. And again, people, that's how the channel grew, was through World War III. And, it was like, all right, he's coming back. And then I looked at the store, and originally we were told as like partners with the game that people were going to be able to earn currency in game, that they didn't have to spend a single dollar. Cool. They're out of the, like, tens of, I would say like 10, 20, 30, whatever amount of, in-game purchase items that you can grab. Only one was earnable with in-game credits. Jeez. Where you look at the past model for the original World War III game, when it was just a Farm 51 before my games, you could earn everything in-game by earning in-game money and just spending it. And it was like a $20, $25 game, and you would just earn the in-game cosmetics, in-game weapons, in-game attachments, purchase what you wanted, everything. And now they're really just trying to, and then when I saw that, I uninstalled right then and there. I was like, I can't cover this game anymore. I can't talk about it anymore. I don't want to give these guys, any more of my time, sense, I don't mind talking about it when shit like this happens, to hopefully, there's not much player base left, exactly, but to hopefully educate. To be honest, the people that are left right now that are playing on a daily basis, I don't even know if there's even players like that, or if there's just new players every now and then coming in that just bought a PC, maybe looking for a free game to play because they don't want to spend too much money. This is still a free to play title. Those are the players that are probably coming in every now and then they see how bad it can be with network connection and server
Server
issues.
stability, yeah.
Exactly. So that's again, it's not even like it's not even dead, dude. It's like buried underground 6 feet, and somehow someone left them with a loaded gun underground. They're still shooting themselves. Like,
You want to
it's
buy a bundle?
yeah.
Can I
My
interest you
gosh.
in a
And
bundle?
when I saw that, I literally because I still have it where like when Twitter sends out notifications for I got it for like Dead Side, World War III, a couple other games, stuff like that. And when I saw that, I was like, no way.
It's so distasteful.
Yeah.
It's boring.
It's unfortunate too, because like that was the reason I wanted to get a PC to game originally was World War III, and then I got invited to that to be a partner too, and it just like I didn't have time
At the-
at that particular moment, and I'm glad I didn't because I even though
I'm
they
glad you
gave
didn't, man.
they gave me free keys anyways for everything and did some stuff with them, but every time I got on to try the new version in the beta, like the servers were always crashing. You couldn't even play.
Mhm.
So it was, the potential for that game was through the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
And they never, the only thing I ever saw about it on X was like where servers are under maintenance. That could have been just the most posts on their entire X account is maintenance going on for the servers.
Yep. Yeah, we could literally talk about the rest of the podcast about how many opportunities they've had to turn this game around and how many times they've failed at it.
Yeah.
And then just to post to try to sell cosmetics for a game that's not even sure if it's going to be around is so distasteful. Then on top of that, the cherry on top, hide comments that say, "Hey, could you tell us if the game is even going to be around before we buy stuff for it?" And then you hide that. That's
means
just
probably no.
yeah, that means
that's your
maybe not.
answer. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I'm gonna take that. But yeah, I really didn't have much else on X. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Other than I thought this was some of my best mid journeying right here. They said they wanted a kick mascot, so I made like a cool little happy slot machine to promote their gambling. I think it's pretty good.
That's good stuff. I like it.
I think it's a quality item.
Surprised they didn't hide that one though.
No, that one's still up there. I only did it a couple hours ago, so.
Oh, you did it for kick. Okay.
It's for kick. It's for kick.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of that one.
Where did you get the photo of Aiden Ross? Was that
yeah, I image prompted mid journey with Aiden Ross, so then it turned him into a cartoon slot machine.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Now we know.
Oh man.
We do have, I think we have a loaded quick shot section. I think there's quite a bit to talk about. I think the first thing I want to talk about, make sure to give Buff plenty of time to talk about Delta Force Hawk Ops. I think there's a lot going on with that.
We start with that one?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready.
Make sure we get that one in.
Yeah, I mean, so they released a devlog, their second devlog, I think it was Friday, I want to say, of last week, so the 9th, I think it was. It's a 13-minute devlog, and they go into a lot of detail. It's all in Chinese, so they have the subtitles there, thank God. And I watched that a couple times, and I covered it in a video yesterday, and I took some notes on it, but what they showed versus I think what we saw previously, because I mean we all remember that first trailer where we were like, oh my god, this looks so gimmicky with like the specialists, just like Battlefield 2042. And ever since then, they've seemed to almost like remove that from the game and the marketing. You can see some little things in the gameplay, but it's not gimmicky like it was originally. So they're doing a lot with this game. It's still slated apparently to come out in 2024. They're about to enter in their second playtest in China, and then the plan is to roll it out to kind of other countries worldwide, playtest, beta, and then release. I'm assuming it'll be probably Q4, maybe Q3 of this year, most likely. But it will be on all next gen consoles, so the new Xbox, PS5, PC, and mobile. They made emphasis to say, I guess they got some feedback and questions that nothing's built for a particular platform and ported. It was they built each version specifically for that version with crossplay in mind. So it's not like you're getting a lesser version. Obviously, mobile will have slight limitations with graphics, but they're they're working on to make that
So
as compatible as possible.
so that means like PC, you're still gonna get like, or in consoles, like you're still gonna get good graphics. Like, because I was worried about it being a mobile
Yeah,
game and then just like being on an
yeah.
emulator on PC and looking bad.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
and that was some of the questions that I guess a lot of folks had, and they addressed that in that vlog. Is
Oh, we talked
that
about
is
that
not the
last.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Good.
that's not the
Good.
case at all, which is good. Very good to hear.
I'm not gonna
And
see
they,
mobile UI on a PC game.
no, not at all. So that was really good news. And they talked a little bit about where the mobile game was and everything, and they're going to be showcasing that version of it soon. But yeah, it was built specifically for each platform. Comes with the 3 different modes. So you have like the Black Hawk Down single player, like the original Delta Force game, Black Hawk Down. So that'll be there. Looks really true to form. Then you have Havoc Warfare, which is like your all-out battlefield-esque conquest mode, which looks crazy. And then you have Hazard Operations. So Hazard Operations is the one I'm most looking forward to. This in my mind is kind of like what DMZ had potential to be, but they're really, it seems like they're looking at all the games out there right now and kind of saying, okay, where did Battlefield go wrong? This is what we can do. Where did DMZ go wrong? And then they're looking at, okay, what other extraction games are out there? You have Tarkov, you have whatever games are out there, and they're kind of taking the best of everything and putting it into one. And I think that's evident with what they've showed. So for this second playtest, they've added more content, like loot, bosses on the maps. Which there's 2 maps going to be going on for this playtest for the Hazard Operations, the Extraction mode, and the Havoc Warfare. So they added a new map, and they said that there's going to be more maps added. They have plenty more coming down the pipe also, and they're fairly large maps too. So they're going to be adding bunkers too, which is cool. Bosses, things like that. You also have 16 new weapons in this playtest. Now I counted the weapons from the first playtest. There's 28, so they're adding an additional 16 to that with 60 plus attachment. And then you get into like the weapon, they're adding weapon inspects. They went through and reworked all the reload animations and respecs to make it unique for the weapon itself. And they worked with advisors to do that. A lot of folks that work on like major Hollywood movies like Extraction, things like that, advisors as to how the weapon should handle, what the reload would be like, what an inspect would be like, to make the weapons feel more unique and not just a copy paste animation. You can also customize your weapons. So they showcased a little bit of like an AKM and a lot of different combinations you can do. So this is pretty much, me being a Call of Duty guy mainly because of what the gunsmith offered. Like this takes that to a Tarkov level. And you have Hazard Operations. You have like the same inventory as Tarkov, like inspecting bags, all that stuff. So, but the customization was insane. You can choose where you want specific attachments, put rails on things. You can adjust the slider like we saw in Ground Branch. You can adjust the slider of
Okay.
where an attachment will be. So an underbarrel grip, you can move it forward, you can move it back, optics forward, back. Your PEC 15 lasers, you can choose which Picatinny rail you want it on your handguard, what position you want it. So this is all huge stuff. And the fact that this isn't even a AAA studio, granted they're backed by Tencent, they have money. But the fact that they're able to do this, and you have AAA studios like putting out Battlefield, Call of Duty that can't do this, it's pretty insane to me. They're taking advantage of a part of the market that is ripe for picking in my mind. So they also added a lot of new details, like more immersive. This kind of what they emphasize, like immersion is their big thing. So they're adding more details to the map, like impact craters will be more prominent. Weapons, vehicles will have wear and tear as you use them, scratches, things like that. They also talked about their anti-cheat. So they have their own anti-cheat called Fog of War, which they showed an example, and it blocks. What they said is it blocks walls and aimbot from being utilized. So even if you have it installed, like their Fog of War will prevent you from seeing through the wall, will prevent your aimbot from working. So whatever they're doing on the back end, I don't know, but they're working with a lot of the Tencent team for that, utilizing AI as well. They didn't get too far, I don't know, but they did show some example, which again looked that's more of an example than we've seen anything coming out of Ricochet, which is a AAA studio. So that's promising. Overhauled all the UI, the AI movement, how the AI moved to made it more realistic, immersive. They did a lot of mocap with real world operators, and again focus on immersion overall. They're really that's their focus is to make the game feel unique. Every aspect of the game unique, immersive, grounded. Gameplay features that there's going to be leaning. So it looks really good. This, I think, what I had in mind prior to this was I was really excited, and now seeing this next vlog that they just released, like I need this game and I need it right now because the customization, everything just looks awesome. So I think this is an example so far. I mean, it could flop, could be a huge flop, but I don't think it's going to. I think this is an example of you have AAA studios like we've talked about here making games for money, for profiting, and not focusing on the quality of the game. Here you have a studio that appears to be focusing on quality. I'm sure the money will come, but again, what they're doing here is more quality than I've seen out of any AAA shooter ever thus far, with the features, attention to detail, things like that. So I'm pumped for this game. I think that Hazard Operations is going to be right up my alley. I'm hoping when this comes out, that this is probably most likely going to be the main game that I end up covering. So pretty excited for that. I think there's a lot to this game. They're putting in a lot of work. So definitely check out that vlog on their YouTube channel,
I know I
or
will.
over on
Yeah.
their Twitter. You got to read it, but again, like they show a good amount of gameplay in there too, and I think the weapon customization will blow your mind. Brief bit that they do show, so pretty good. Pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, I've been watching it as you've been talking, and since it has subtitles, I've been reading it too. I saw that Fog of War thing. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully coming from Tencent in China, it's safe, secure wise. But I mean, if it's going to be on Steam and if it's going to be on console, it's got to be kind of vetted, right? It has to be certified before they'll even allow it on this platform. So that should be safe.
Yeah. Yep.
If
And
anything,
they're doing play tests. Like they're not hiding the fact. There's channels out there that have a lot of footage from the play test. So what you've seen from the first play test looks really good.
Yep. Yeah, the Fog of War looks interesting. It looks like if the player is behind a wall, it's not even rendering it, or it's not even keeping track of that information in the game client, and that's what the cheats use to find.
Right.
They can just tell that the player's nearby and where they're at. It looks like the game client isn't even keeping track of that location unless they're visible, which I don't even know how they do that, but that was a pretty cool clip.
Yeah.
To show somebody. So hopefully, man, yeah, that's pretty neat. So hopefully it works. Yeah, did they mention anything about like the extraction type, like if there's going to be traders and like the currency or anything like that, or is it still pretty?
They didn't really talk about traders or anything like that, but I know there's currency just based on the gameplay that I've seen from Hazard Operations. Again, like I'll release a video either later tonight or tomorrow for some stuff but there's some channels out there that show full raids for Hazard Operations. So there's currency for sure that you can pick up in game, for your weapons, like attachments, everything. It's very Tarkov-esque. Like you need in-game currency to purchase the attachments, purchase the guns, to purchase the, if you want a different handguard, things like that. So that's all in-game currency, and you get currency through the raids, doing missions, things like that. So
All right. Well, stay tuned to Buff's channel for information on that. Sub to Buff, man. What are you doing?
Sub to Buff.
Sub to Buff. That looks sweet. Yeah, it's 100% something to keep track of.
definitely.
Yeah, I remember when it launched, it was like the first trailer caused a lot of stir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here you go. Here's another this
Quick shot.
ooh, this might be an ultra quick shot. I don't even know, man. This is kind of wild to me, and I gotta read the room here, see what you guys are thinking. But Dead Drop came out. That's the vertical extraction shooter made by Dr. Disrespect Studio, the Midnight Society. Man, and you can look back at early episodes of the Scope, some of them where I was just rambling solo. I said that it's going to be interesting to see if a game that is developed this transparently, while I think is really cool and definitely commendable, is this thing have like absolutely zero hype? They did the update, and then I just no one really talked about it on Twitter. I don't even know if Insider Gaming did a video on, or did an article on it. Maybe they did. But essentially, the roadmap shows the 7 snapshots, and then they talk about in 2024, there's not going to be any releases really. They're working on polish and optimization. They're working on the hideout. They're going to finish that out. They're working on visuals, quest, and contracts, and then the console port. So finally that. But I'm just telling you, man, I don't know, dude. What do you guys think?
They did anything with it.
What I mean, where are you guys at? Because that snapshot 7 had like almost everything gameplay wise, like in it, gameplay loop wise in it, and it had the cars, like the driving the cars on the streets was weird.
I remember we talked about that. And we were like, "Wait, I thought this was a vertical shooter."
Yeah, man. I just really don't know what's going on with this thing. So, what I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think when they release on console and when they the other thing, like the flip side of it is they always have like Doc and his buddies like Tim the Tap Man and stuff, like they have an absolute marketing juggernaut in their back pocket. So like it's always going to be able to bring some attention to it. But my question is, do you think the transparent way that they developed this game where you could see it and kind of showed everything behind the curtain, did it lose its like luster to you guys? Does it like feel not as exciting?
To be honest, I never had any luster to me to begin with.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Next question.
I'm in the same boat as Blue, honestly.
Yeah, pushing NFTs, dude. Like,
yeah, that killed it for me.
He had more luck with his whiskey, and even then, I don't know how many people. I mean, people probably bought it for the name, but
yeah, supposedly it's supposed to be good whiskey. I don't know. You can't buy it. You can't find it anywhere. But yeah, man. I don't know. I worried about this. I kind of feel like that to me. Like I'm open to whatever shooters as long as it like feels and plays good. And this one just with the NFTs, the vertical extraction shooter thing where we've kind of already seen gameplay, like having the cars on snapshot 7. I don't really understand what that means. Granted, take this with all a huge grain of salt because I haven't tried one of the snapshots. I haven't played it. I haven't felt like I've wanted to. I just haven't seen something from the game that like gets me super amped up. So we'll see what they do in 2024. If they have a really cool hideout, the optimization's good, and they're working on like the visuals and quests and stuff. And there's a lot of quests. I need to, especially for doing the show. I need to play like 1.0 when they release it. But I just saw with myself, I felt it, and like my overall general thoughts and feelings on like Twitter, on X, was like no one was really talking about this roadmap very much. So I think we're kind of seeing it play out where there's not a lot of hype for Dead Drop. Let me know, guys, in like comments or on Discord or whatever if you guys are hyped for it, but I might be missing something. I think it's kind of wild.
I did see Dr. Disrespect's post a lot, like I don't know how many, it was a couple weeks back, like they were going to start, keeping things more closely to the chest going forward. So maybe they realized that. Maybe they realized like the initial hype seemed to definitely be there, but after that, I mean, I really didn't hear anything about it. And to be honest, like to Blue's point, like the NFTs, I don't, that's not something I would ever even consider. So I don't really pay attention to what is going on.
I guess what they was pushing at more though than
they were pushing it more.
Gameplay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I saw a little bit of gameplay, and I was just it wasn't a game that I would want to play. But that could change. Like
it could change. Point, yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing it was just a bunch of like when I first saw that they're like futuristic M16 with like bent iron sights, and I'm just like, yeah, this game is not ready to be even showcased to the public. And here you are having people test it and people make content on it, and
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a wait.
It's weird.
I have no intent to play it unless they again keep things close to the chest and they come out in 9 months. 12 months and just like kind of release like a whole something completely reworked and different, maybe who knows. But regardless, to your point, Grass, like there's gonna be people are gonna play it because of the marketing behind it. Like all those guys will get on stream and play it and hype it up. And plus he's not gonna release a game with intent not to support it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I think it's gonna be a niche. Not something I would really want to play. Just from to Blue's point, like a goofy M16. Like that's not. I prefer the more grounded stuff. So that's definitely not up my alley.
I read you.
Look, shit.
We got another one, boys. This one
Yeah.
should get you excited. This information comes to me via player IGN. He always covers crafting, the studios behind PUBG, everything like that. They did a earnings call with Crafton, and the CEO did talk a little bit about Black Budget, which I tweeted out, dude, I think this is like a super sleeper game that people should be high. I think it has a massive amount of potential. And here's why. So basically they show their strategic titles for 2024. So it is supposed to come out this year. They also said like they're doing testing now, and there should be a beta test within like the first half of this year. And so if you guys haven't heard of it, Project Black Budget is essentially like PUBG Studios' take on an extraction shooter. They say popularizing the extraction shooter genre, inheriting PUBG gunplay. It says essential genre specific experience of gambling. I don't know what that means. A world demanding
That's
strategic choices during every session. Player progression varied by risk reward decisions. Inheriting and enhancing PUBG's powerful gunplay. That's a good thing. Deep and challenging gameplay experience. And then they kind of show a little bit of concept art with it. Like it looks like an overgrown underground warehouse. So it looks kind of like a dystopian future kind of looking thing. The map, the concept art looks really cool. Why I think this is really cool is because they've already talked about how they're going to build it on the backbone of PUBG. So I feel like a lot of the foundation was already developed. They don't have to work on that. So they've been able to work on other things, adding content and things like that. And the other side about it, why I think I'm pretty excited about this potentially, is because they've been adding some really cool shit to PUBG. Just recently, I always talk about the cool little mechanics they add here and there that would fit really well into this. The little thing that they added now was like a buddy system to mantle over high fences. So like you're over like a high wall, your buddy can give you a boost over the wall, and just like stuff like that, like dragging, carrying bodies, throwing a down player in a car, driving off to res them somewhere else, using bodies as a meat shield, foldable bicycles, different kinds of gliders and stuff like that. Like there's just a ton of stuff that they've done, like updates to the things, the mechanics and things you can do in PUBG that I think are going to fit really well in a Unreal Engine 5 extraction shooter. And PUBG has some pretty satisfying gunplay. So I think hearing some more information on Black Budget is always worth talking about. The other thing that was mentioned here too is that all these titles are leading up to a big IP release in 2025, which kind of makes me think PUBG 2.0. A lot of people they did mention they are going to do, I think we talked about it in an episode in the last couple weeks, about how they're going to do PUBG 2.0, basically moving everything over in PUBG to Unreal Engine 5. So upgrading the graphics and stuff in PUBG.
Awesome.
So yeah, they're still doing it, man. And Black Budget with all the cool things. They've added animals, like AI animals on some maps and stuff like that in certain places, with the polar bears on Vikendi. They had that event going on for a while. Just tons of little things, man, that PUBG's added to enhance gameplay, and I think are going to be perfect fits. And they could even be kind of on the side testing some of this stuff for Black Budget, some of these mechanics like the team mantling and dragging down players and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited for this one, almost as much as probably Gray Zone.
Give me Subnautica 2. I don't really care, but
I don't even know what that is. Dark and Darker Mobile.
Is it gonna have first person? Do we know?
Oh, I would sure think so, because PUBG does. I would sure think so.
Because I know consoles. I don't know if consoles really did.
Yeah, they do.
Play it on PlayStation. Okay, because
yeah, for PUBG they do.
Okay, like I would love. Yeah, give me a first person mode. I'm in.
So yeah, man. There's that.
Look, shot.
We're gonna wear your voice out. So Ubisoft also did a earnings call. We kind of found out some information about how they're going to do Heartland. They're also working on the Division 3 for next year, or maybe beyond.
Yes.
But the one thing we've talked about seemingly for a really long time, on this show is XDefiant, because it's been delayed many times. It's been delayed. And the latest is that during the call, it was revealed that in Ubisoft's Q4, which runs from January to March of 2024, XDefiant Season 0 will be released. So this is the first update we've had on the highly anticipated shooter for months following postponements by Ubisoft. So allegedly, according to that, the game should be launching within the next 6 weeks. How about that?
I'll believe it when I see it.
I didn't even play it. I just heard it was kind of like. What did you think of it? Did you both play it? It's something I would like.
I mean, if I guess what people keep saying is it feels like OG Call of Duty.
I would play, yeah, I would play the shit out of it with an S&D mode.
Which they still didn't confirm, huh?
They confirmed, well, they've confirmed and unconfirmed a lot of things about this game, but last namely the release window, but the last thing I heard was that it was supposed to come soon after launch, and S&D mode was a priority. Mark Rubin tweeted that. Like in a perfect world, like I would be so excited if, like, hey, since we took a long time to get this game out, the team that was working on that mode got done and we're bringing the S&D at launch. That would be lit. Because I think the S&D mode, like the specialists kind of fit into that, like with the round based stuff, counters and you know, working together. The team makeup kind of fits into your strategy a little bit, I think, and you know, kind of the build up to your abilities. You know, you kind of have to decide when to use them. There's more stake to it, so I think the specialists aren't as big a deal in that. You know, that's one of the reasons I really like Rainbow Six, and this game has footsteps in it. The gunplay and stuff feels all right. It was pretty well optimized. They just had a ton of netcode issues, partying up issues, and I think they're going to struggle with cheaters. So there you are, man. I want to be excited about this, but I just have kind of felt like Ubisoft has like been circling the drain for a little while. Like I know it's a huge company and stuff, but like they do those. I
feel the same way too.
Like, man, like the last time, you know, everybody does these, like they do the Xbox showcases and Activision does COD Next and these big, huge productions. And then like the last time they did like Ubisoft Forward, and the CEO Yves Guillemot was like on this tiny shitty stage. It looked like a high school auditorium that needed renovated. Like Ubisoft hasn't felt good, man. I think they're going to take it in the shorts on Skull and Bones, from what I understand. I have not followed that game nor interested in it at all, but a lot of the stuff I'm seeing on X and stuff is like, it's not great. And they put a lot of money. And that was another game that got delayed a whole bunch. And that Eve said, yeah, the CEO Eve also said that it's a quadruple A experience. That's why it's $70. That's going to be a meme because people aren't really enjoying it the last I saw. So I worry because Ubisoft has some of my favorite games, you know, Rainbow Six, and I'm excited for Division Heartland. I'm looking at Division Heartland as like kind of my first time of really diving. I have less than 100 hours probably in Division 2 before I kind of got tired of the repetition. But with the survival aspect, I'm excited for Heartland to like really try to put some more time into the Division franchise.
So I think that game will do that for you, but I mean,
we'll see.
What if they don't survive?
yeah, we've been surprised before, man. So no, I don't know. XDefiant, it's another game that for different reasons has lost a lot of the excitement that we've had for it. I know back on the last beta test, even people I've noticed in our chat and stuff over here on YouTube were really excited for it, want to know the latest about XDefiant. But it just, you start to get a lot of red flags, you start to get a lot of trepidation whenever you have all these delays, and they're not like building a rocket ship, man. They're literally making a COD clone. Like, you're telling me like however many billions of dollars Ubisoft is worth, they can't make a 6v6 arena shooter to rival COD. They were literally having netcode issues. Like,
yeah,
That was gonna be my question. Is like, why is it taking so long to release this? Like, we've been hearing about this game for so long at this point, and it's just like any hype. If there was ever a point, which there wasn't, but if there was a time when I was excited, I'm not excited. I wouldn't be excited just because it had its time where everyone was pumped about it, and now it's just, oh, it's delayed. Oh, it's delayed. Oh, next 6 weeks. But just release the game already. To your point, Chris, why is it taking them so long? Like, they've made video games before, so what is they haven't been transparent about
Yeah.
what the delays are for, have they? So what's going on?
I mean, based on Mark Rubin's tweet, he's been fairly transparent with it. And I mean, it failed its first certification at PlayStation. It didn't pass Sony's QA check to be able to be listed in the PlayStation Store.
Wow.
And even,
Yeah.
I mean, they've had player tests. I've played almost every single player test from the very first insider player test that it feels like is going on 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was thinking.
every single play test, you could not get in a party with your friends. And I don't know how you aren't able to fix that in 2 years and you have that much money.
And they've made games before. Like, you can get into parties with your friends in Ghost Recon. Like, so what's going
yeah.
on?
And that is the other thing, like Space said, I didn't see the next Ghost Recon on that list of their releases for Ubisoft. So I don't know.
I feel like they would keep that one close to the chest, though.
They might, yeah, because that'll get a lot of hype when they get closer to that. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like XDefiant is gonna be, and I mean, and if we put the shoe on the other foot, look a little bit at the bright side too. It sounds like last time they were about to launch, when they tried to launch it the last time, they said they showed off what they had planned for post-launch content. It was actually really good, like 12 post-launch maps and stuff like that. Yeah, I just really hope that with this extra time, it's a pretty slim to none chance. But I just feel like I hope that they added that S&D mode in this latest 6 to 8 month delay that they've had.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know, man.
There's no reason they shouldn't. Like, to your point,
Mhm.
it really shouldn't be that difficult. And
True. So,
yeah, I'm curious. I really want to know specifics about what the reason for the delay is.
yeah, because I feel like
Look
there's been
good.
some pretty broken games get through console QA checks. Like,
Yeah,
how bad did it
exactly.
have to be to not pass that?
Right.
But I don't know. I was gonna check Mark Rubin's Twitter to see if he'd said anything. That's really all this stuff I had. Is there anything I missed, guys? Like, topics wise that you guys wanted to talk about? That I missed.
That's pretty much it myself.
for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I think we'll wait another 6 weeks to see if that comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We have addressed the weird. Okay. Yeah, he hasn't said anything since January.
So it sounds like they're keeping everything close to the chest. Hopefully that's
yeah. On New
for
Year's
good
he
reason
said.
and not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, on New Year's he said we've addressed the weird issues that were affecting netcode, and we will continue to improve and test our netcode before and after launch. We've implemented the new party system and are now just putting it through rigorous testing and bug fixing as we get ready for launch. So, as of January 2nd, still working on the party system.
Interesting. Okay, then. I mean, I'm glad they're working on it. It gives me like PTSD back to Medal of Honor Warfighter when you couldn't speak to people in your party for like months, and I don't think they ever fixed it. So that was, if you can't talk with your friends, a la Battlefield 2042, it's kind of a killer.
We know that VoIP is important to you, Buff, but we will be adding it post-launch.
Yeah.
Quote unquote dice.
Yeah. We realize Buff would like to talk to his community when playing the game, which we market
As a
about.
team squad.
Yeah.
Except this one, it's just one army. 1-man army game, and you're not supposed to play in roles. We'll add that later. You guys just don't understand how to play it. It's not on us.
That's
You guys
that's
just
my
don't
fault.
understand specialists because you're stupid.
I'm stupid. Just a fucking idiot, man.
You guys don't have phones?
So dumb. I really feel, I just feel so stupid sometimes when I read Dice's tweets. They just make me just really emphasize how dumb I am.
Yep.
Good on them.
A good question is,
It's okay.
how many hertz servers are running in gaming? It depends on the game. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, it'll be a good something to check out. I can't remember what the alpha test for XDefiant ran on. Let's hope it's 60. There's no reason that in 2024 a 6v6 arena shooter shouldn't have 60 hertz servers.
Yeah.
But I've been surprised before. So we'll see. Warzone runs on 20 hertz, which is kind of crazy.
That's wild.
There is a lot going on, but it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I don't even think. Yeah, Warzone's 20 hertz. I think multiplayer is like 40 or something. Still not even 60. I know. Siege is 60. Valorant is 128, and then CS2 has like their proprietary sub tick rate netcode stuff that's supposed to be sweet. I don't know. 45 in multiplayer. Yeah, I knew it wasn't quite 60 in multiplayer yet. 2042.
Interesting.
Oh, Battlefield 2042 is not 60. I thought Battlefields have been 60 for a while. Maybe not 2042, but I know Battlefield 5 and 1 were 60 because you could see in the server browser. The server browser. Another crazy word.
Crash, stop it. You're acting like they don't have the technology to do that. They don't have technology to do that. Stop, Crash. You're expecting things that were standard in the game. You're just a boomer. Stop.
They don't have the tech.
Yeah.
Anymore. They had the tech apparently, but
you have brutal expectations.
That's me.
Crash.
That's me. Mr. Brutal. That's me. Yep. So is that it? Is that a program?
Programs.
That's all I
completed.
had. Yeah. I'm surprised we got through. We had a beefy show. I'm surprised we got through it that quick.
Yeah, we got through it kind of quick. I thought, and I was moving kind of quick because I knew we had a lot to talk about, but we got through it. That was an action-packed episode. That was all. We had a lot going on.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure.
Are we happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Yeah, there's a lot of topics. Hopefully, seems like we good, a lot of good stuff coming out, and is just come out, and some of the stuff we talked about. So I think we put aside the AAA titles. We have a promising year in gaming.
Yeah, I'm worried about Gray Zone Warfare a little bit getting. I think it's gonna get judged pretty harsh, and I think so too. I have to be guilty of it too. I think the hype might be a little high, and I think it's gonna get directly compared to Tarkov, and which has been
I'm worried.
Worked on.
We haven't seen any.
Years.
We haven't seen any like gameplay yet, like besides the trailers.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know, because I feel like people are like, well, there's not that much content here. There's only 150 quests. Tarkov has 200 quests. It's like, dude, when Tarkov launched, it was factory and no quests. Like it was just like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's gonna get a little bit unfairly judged, but hopefully it's got enough there to keep people around and they work on it and keep it going. But we'll see. That's just how it goes.
I think that's definitely a promising game for sure. So it seems like that one, honestly, Gray Zone and Delta Force are like the two games that I'm looking forward to more than anything right now. I think they both have a lot of potential. That we say that a lot, but I think these ones actually have the funding behind them to pull it off.
All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. If you made it to the end, you're an incredible human and we appreciate you a ton. And like I said at the beginning, if you guys want to support the show, be a friend, tell a friend, leave us a like, a comment, share it around with your friends if you think they will enjoy it. Leave us a review on Spotify or Apple iTunes or whatever it's called now, the Apple Music app or what the heck ever it is that you're listening to on Apple. See how much I know about podcasts? I'm a pro. So yeah, leave a comment, preferably a good one, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.